Hello everyone, welcome to my first video here on YouTube. My channel will be primarily dealing with philosophy, literature, and other intellectual topics. For my first video, I wanted to discuss one of my favorite writers, Fyodor Dostoevsky. He's written such novels as Crime and Punishment, Notes from the Underground, and my personal favorite, The Brothers Karamazov. And I was having a debate with someone recently about whether or not Dostoevsky believed in God. He devoted a lot of his works to this question that seemed to really eat away at him, as it does, I think, a lot of intellectuals. And particularly in The Brothers Karamazov, a lot of the characters are debating this topic. And you have Ivan, who's clearly an atheist in the novel, and you have his brother Alyosha, who is the religious one who obviously believes in God. And the character of Ivan eventually descends into madness. And I think what's interesting about this is that from an intellectual standpoint, Dostoevsky appeared to be an atheist, and he made some really interesting and accurate claims through the character of Ivan about atheism and why there isn't a God, or if there was a God, he's a very malicious, sadistic type of God that you wouldn't want to believe in even if he did exist. And yet, by showing Ivan essentially go mad from his own intelligence and intellect, I think what Dostoevsky was trying to say was that when you don't believe in God, even if that is the correct viewpoint to have, it does drive you to a certain degree insane, because there doesn't seem to be any real meaning to the world and to suffering. And what I find interesting about that, though, is I have an easier time accepting evil and suffering in the world knowing that there isn't a God. I myself am an atheist. And I think if there was a God and there's all this evil and suffering in the world, I would have a harder time reconciling that. It would just seem to me that God is, again, a very merciless and evil God. And so I think Dostoevsky, from an intellectual standpoint, sided with atheism, but from a practical standpoint, was actually a believer, especially later in his life. And I think it says a lot about the mentality of people that do believe in God. I think they believe out of fear of death, fear of no afterlife, and fear of actually going insane with the idea that there's nothing else in this world besides what we have right now. And again, as an atheist and as a nihilist, and in nihilism I mean that I don't believe in any inherent or objective meaning in the world, uh, it definitely is a difficult position to take. But in the same sense, if something is intellectually and logically correct, no matter what harm that may bring you, I think that that's the best route to take in your life, because at least you know that it's true. So if anyone would like to weigh in on this at all, or on the topic of Dostoevsky's faith or atheism versus believing in general, feel free to leave comments or post any replies, and I will be posting another video in here shortly. Thank you.